Welcome to the Off the Road Again podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Matt.
This is our podcast about anything and everything off-road. Tonight, as always, we're socially distanced. Depending on which time zone Matt's in tonight, we're our normal three. So Ross is on the East Coast still. I'm in the Midwest. And Matt's either Mountain or Pacific time. I don't remember what time of year it is.
We're Mountain right now. We're Pacific in the summer.
Yeah,
we boycott daylight savings.
Yeah, and I wish everyone did. I absolutely hate it. That being said, I still have small children, and Ross's hasn't been affected by it yet, but mine are very much affected by it. I was actually in Arizona one year when daylight savings time happened, and I looked at my friends that we were staying with, and I was like, "What do we do?" And they were like, "Nothing." And I was like, "Cool, like, we just changed time zones."
The way it should be.
So yeah, Matt's back. We realized it's been 2 years,
almost to the day. Yeah,
I meant to have him back before that.
Matt's last show was it went out December 30th. That's like 2020.
Yeah, that's like we're still
the
in
world
the
was
pandemic.
a little different then. So
good. So good. Ross, what is your update? Because you sent it to me today, and I couldn't tell. I was driving, so I didn't get a good look at it.
Minor updates. Jeff Clucker sent me a Next-based dash cam, probably between 6 and 8 months ago, and I finally got around to installing it in the Lexus. It took about 10 minutes to install. The extent of it, and the catches, I bought this adapter thing from a company called Dongar, Dongar, presumably because it's some kind of dongle apparatus, and it splits the power coming from the truck to the rear view mirror, and sends some of it to the rear view and some of it to the dash cam. And so it was pretty easy. It took about 10 minutes to do the whole install, and it took about 20 minutes to look for the spring that is used for the sunglasses holder that the Lexus has above in like the whole like overhead thing.
Yeah.
The spring that is still MIA.
It evaded you.
Yeah, sometimes
you know who's gonna find it, right?
Fasteners. Yeah, my daughter.
Your daughter's gonna find it.
So she's crawling around in the truck.
I'm just glad you knew.
No. So the sunglass holder it's flush in the overhead thing that has the sunroof button and like the SOS button, all that stuff. And there's a sunglasses holder, and it's got the mirror in it, so you can like see. And Chris, because the 4Runner that you sold me had that, because
the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's not just the exact same thing. Literally the same part numbers, same everything. And there's a tiny little spring with a stick coming out of it that operates the mirror sunglasses cubby. And that little spring is gone forever. So
not forever, until your daughter finds it.
Until she finds it. I took the floor mats out. My only thought is maybe it's like in the rail, like the seat rail. But dude, I don't. I just gave up. I was like, fuck, I don't care. I'll go through with a vacuum when it gets warm. So yeah, now I'm dash cam. Thanks, Jeff. Also, I know Jeff isn't listening to this, but fuck you. He's in New York City, went from New York City to Westchester, across Connecticut,
didn't see you
to Boston, and probably took the Merit, which, because the leaves have fallen, I can literally see the Merit from my house, and went from New York to to Westchester, across the Merit up to Boston, and then into wherever it is. So yeah. Jeff's not listening, but Jeff, I'm calling you out.
Is he on a schedule? Like, is it a press trip, or is he just visiting family?
Nope, visiting family.
Okay, so he could have swung by at least for a meal.
He could have swung by for literally a beer,
cup of coffee.
Yeah, anything. So
speaking of swinging by, I'm changing my update. I'm having breakfast with Derek Powell tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw an Charisse Trace was at US News for a long time, renting car stuff. She's in Chicago, and she was like, "Hey, I'm getting to meet Derek Powell today." And I was like, "Derek, I'm off tomorrow if you're in the area." And he's like, "No, I'll be there." So I'm gonna drop off my oldest at wrestling practice in the morning and meet him for breakfast. And when our breakfast is over, I'll pick him up from wrestling and then head home. So,
can you don't have an iPhone, but can Derek FaceTime me?
potentially, yeah. If you throw WhatsApp on your phone tonight, you and I could video call each other.
Oh, sold.
Yeah.
Virtual breakfast. There we go.
Welcome to the only Android user in my entire family of iPhones. And they're all like, we can't FaceTime. I was like, if you put in one app on your phone, we can do it all the time. You could use Messenger if you wanted, but we can do WhatsApp. It's easier.
Welcome to the Off the Road Again podcast.
Yeah, I'll just include everybody in it.
Maybe the first time I've said that in 145 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, there's no little Android spite over here at all. Like, not at all.
None.
No. Hey, and she's almost 5, but like the ability to put my phone in kids mode and hand it to her still matters. So,
she's almost 5 already. Holy
yeah,
shit.
She'll be 5 in June.
She was like brushing up on 2 when we started. It's crazy.
She was still a baby.
Crazy.
So yeah. That's my update. I'm gonna hang out with Derek Powell tomorrow. So I was super excited about. I have no idea what he's driving. I do know he is driving. I don't know what last time he was in town in a Bentley. I don't think he's here in a Bentley.
I will text him after this show is over.
Well, I kind of wanted it to be a surprise. So like, Derek, would you show up? And
shit,
yeah,
I'm not gonna be there.
There's part of me that's like, I bet it's like a Kia Seltos or Seltos or whatever that one was that you had the keys.
The one that I put triple the mileage I was supposed to.
Yeah. Sorry, Kia.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote that thing. Honestly, like we've been thinking about replacing the CX-5, and the Seltos has come up. It's yeah, it's. I mean, it's really good for how cheap it is.
So my favorite part of that is you're just going to have to go into the dealer and be like, "Hey, can I try this baby seat in your car real fast?" Because that's going to be your biggest issue.
Dude. That's the problem with every car. Like we have this Duna thing and Matt, you have kids, so you probably know the car seat shenanigans, but we have a Duna, which incorporates the stroller into the car seat. So it's the most convenient thing ever, but it also makes the whole contraption about 4 inches longer front to back than pretty much any other rear facing car seat.
I just want you to know Duna is not spelled the way you think it's spelled.
Doona.
Yeah, I tried an N. That's not accurate.
And 4 inches in terms of rear legroom and I guess length between the seat back in the second row and the back of the front seat is an enormous amount of space, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, ours is green.
So I have so many questions right now. When she gets bigger, you're gonna have to get a different car seat.
Yeah, 30 pounds, and then it's over.
Okay. We did something different.
She was 16.4 pounds on the scale today, so I still have time.
Yes, you have plenty. Yeah, plenty of time. I think we went with something by the time Lil, like with Lil, like we just, didn't even think about that. We wrote like hers was rear facing, but it didn't have the like handle and come out. Like we would just grab her and carry her. Like we didn't use the baby carrier. By the time you get to the 4th one, you're like, it's fine. I'll just freaking carry this kid. Like, it's so much more ergonomically friendly. So,
yeah. Anyways, let's.
So, dude, that thing's really interesting looking.
It is an engineering marvel, I will say.
So here's the story. My kids are 27. I have 27-year-old twins.
Oh wow.
My wife had a 91 Mitsubishi Eclipse when we had the kids. She tried for hours to figure out how the car seats were going to go on the back of it. They would not. And it's probably the one time I've seen my wife cry the most was when we had to sell that car.
Really? Oh,
dude, those
man.
things are awesome.
All because of the car seats.
Okay. What dare I ask what her vehicular trajectory has been since then? Has it been eclectic like an Eclipse was?
No, she is a truck person. So she currently is driving a 2022 Ram 1500 Eco Diesel.
Okay. Ooh, Eco Diesel's very good.
Yeah, she was very happy with that.
Yep, good trucks.
You said 2021.
Yeah, that is somewhat eclectic. I mean, the Eco Diesel group is like, between the Ram and the Grand Cherokee,
that's going to mean something because isn't it going away for 23? No more Eco Diesel.
Well, they have killed the diesel. The diesel 1500 is dead.
Yeah, but I thought the 1500 Ram Eco Diesel went away too.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure. They've done that before though, and then said, "Oh, by the way, Via Motori has 100,000 extra engines." So,
yeah, 2023 Ram 1500 3-liter Eco Diesel will be the last of the light duty diesel fit in the 1500s.
It's too bad. That and the GM 3-liter Baby Maxes, what fucking awesome engines.
Dude, I saw a badge the other day that said Vortec and then it had Max behind it. Was that one of those diesels?
Vortec Max. No, that was like 2010. That was a 6-liter V8. I don't think it had cylinder deactivation, but it was an attempt for GM to bridge the gap between what prior was the Silverado SS and what followed as just like a,
the RST.
No, not long before that.
Okay.
I think the Vortec Max was early GMT.
It looks like 0506.
Yeah. It was. Was it a 6? Was it a 6.0? I think it was 6.0.
See if I can. I don't know if I deleted it out of my photos or not. No, I still have the photo.
Oh man! All right, let's see.
Because I took the picture and I was like, "What is that? Like that looks weird."
Yeah, no, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
So Vortec Max was 2004 for the 2005 model year, or is it? Yeah, 6-liter LQ9, 345 horsepower, 380 pound-feet of torque, which was effectively the same thing as what they did in the Silverado SS, and I guess also the Trailblazer SS. So,
no, that completely derailed us.
Yeah, no, seriously, off the rails. Those were the trucks that I grew up like fascinating over. The two of those, the limiting factor being the the 4L transmissions, which were and still are fucking terrible. So
the 4LE60 or the 4LE80?
It was in the yes in both of those, but also the 65E was they're torque converters. You got to build in like a 3,000 RPM stall for them to do anything fun.
My favorite note about those transmissions is there are tuners that will tell you if you just put another 0 behind whatever the first 2 digits are, that's the amount of torque the transmission is supposed to be able to hold. So the 4LE60 would hold 600 foot-pounds of torque, and the 4LE80 would hold 800 foot-pounds. I never boosted anything in that realm, so I don't know.
I got a friend who we could have on the show who specializes in building high-power Chevys, but that's a different topic for a street-oriented show. So.
Okay.
And today we're talking about off-road stuff.
Wait, we have a street-oriented show?
I mean, we've definitely had shows with people who are more street-oriented than not, and just like dabble in the off-road stuff. Vaughn, Tanner.
They always have some element of off-road in their past, though. So
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Matt.
Yes. Hi, Matt. Welcome back.
Where do you want to start, Matt? There's a lot's happened in a couple of years.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, tons happened in the last 2 years for sure.
Yeah. You want to start corporate or personal?
Let's go the corporate side first.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, just over 2 years in at Tread Lightly, and honestly, if you guys would have asked me when we did this 2 years ago what the expectations were, they wouldn't be anywhere near where we're at. The last 2 years have been just incredible. We've got a really great team at Tread Lightly, and the team is just, it's been awesome to watch the work that they put together. So like quick hits from the corporate side. So our fiscal year runs October 1 to end of September. So for fiscal year 21-22, we did 113 trail projects in 22 states.
Holy cow.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah. The largest number we had ever done in the past was about 40 in a year.
Oh my God.
We had
exponential growth.
Yeah, 2,140 volunteers.
Wow.
On those projects.
Wow.
Which was crazy. 336,000 pounds of trash pulled off of public lands.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah.
In 12 months. So
yeah.
The stewardship stuff's been incredible. I think the other thing that's been really crazy is we had around, October of 20, we had about 2,800 paying members that were part of Tread Lightly. At the end of last fiscal year, we were over 12,000.
Holy shit.
Crap.
What's the all-time high? Is that it?
That's the all-time high.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Do you attribute that to an explosive interest in the off-road and overlanding community, or is there like a COVID factor in that, or is it just like people realizing what's out there?
No, I mean, I think those things are both part of it, definitely. But the other thing that I probably heard the most when I started was, and I heard it from people that I consider pretty good friends in the off-road industry, and it was, Matt, we just don't know what Tread Lightly's doing.
Mm-hmm.
We have ramped up the communication effort in the last 2 years to make sure there's no question about what Tread Lightly's doing. And I think if you're in this community, with just like the numbers I just gave you guys, we joke about the tread principles and the last one being do your part. I think if everybody sees that we're doing good work, everybody's going to do their part and get behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's really been the key. We went from on our news feed on our website, I think we were posting, maybe 20 things a year, to now we're posting like, 80 to 100 things a year. Social media, we're doing multiple posts a day. We've just got so many things going on, all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really been the difference, just making sure everybody's aware of what we got going.
The whole do unto others thing tends to travel a lot quicker than people doing shitty things. And especially in the age of social media, and your whole efforts are maintain and improve and promote that, so it's good to see that, especially not just from the side of a member, but also from the side of a trail user, and an environmentalist and whatnot. So yeah, do you guys have any big 2023 pushes or things you're really like looking to do and change, or is it just best foot forward, let's keep going?
So we told our board at the end of October with our annual board meeting, we think we can do 120 projects this year. We're interested, obviously, to see kind of what the economy does and how that impacts things, but
right.
We've we've really tried to set ourselves up well. We've increased our team. We were 8 when I started. We're at 11 right now. We also had 2 seasonals this summer on a trail crew in Utah. We're working on seeing if we can get that number to 4 in Utah and even maybe in Wyoming a little bit next year in 2023. So, all of those things I think are going to continue to help us expand, but we want to keep the stewardship efforts up. It's a great way, like you just said, it's a tangible, visible thing that you can see change, and that's the world that we live in. People want to see a visible and tangible change to thing. And then we're working through the educational component, with that. And we've got some big things coming in 23 for that. So, it's really kind of stay the course for 23 in terms of stewardship efforts. But we've got some pretty cool things that are coming here in January that we're excited to announce when the time's right.
Cool. That's awesome.
I love it so much.
Are you working with any new agencies or groups or trail crews or anything? Anybody fun?
So, I mean, the industry partners that we've formed in the last 2 years are pretty amazing. It's hard when you start calling out individual industry partners, but there's a
enlighten us. It's been 2 years since we spoke.
Yeah, so. there's a
Who's
couple.
Joined?
I would say really in the last 6 months, one of the biggest ones that's come on is Can-Am. Can-Am actually came to us and said, hey, we understand there's some challenges going on in Utah. How can we help? We'd love to support Project Works in Utah. So they said, hey, would you guys commit to doing 12 projects in Utah? Sure. Yeah. Would love it. And we've got about half of those done. The other half of those will finish once we get rid of the snow now in Utah.
Wrong time of year.
But then they came back almost on the heels of that and they said, hey, our dealers in Florida are saying there's some challenges down there. Can you come up with some projects in Florida? And we said, sure. So now that we're working on 4 projects in Florida, 2 of those are completed. We've got 2 more there. But Can-Am has been huge in making those happen. And he really appreciative of them jumping on board to make that happen.
That's really interesting. So, I mean, Tread Lightly is most known in like the Jeep community and I guess Toyota by proxy, but the Can-Am community and the divergence into and presumably, correct me if I'm wrong, it's probably the UTV side, not the ATV side of Can-Am that's making the big push.
Yeah, they fall under Can-Am off-road, so both ATV, UTV.
Yeah, but I ride for ATV rider and as of very recent past UTV driver, it's the same mantra, in just a different manner by which you go about it. And it's interesting to see that they're dipping their toes into this, the way that the automotive OEMs have in the past. And it's good to hear that because, I was working on a story, the Massachusetts story about how UTVs got banned from the trails, and it went from, dirt bikes and ATVs to UTVs, and then state just totally banned UTVs with like pretty much no warning. And the efforts that something like Tread Lightly could do actively and proactively would potentially be the difference between people enjoying this kind of hobby and not. So it's interesting to hear that the power sports companies are starting to get wind of this and make moves going for this. So that's good.
Yeah,
that is good.
No, it's great. And I mean, we have great support from Yamaha and Polaris and Kawasaki as well. We actually have somebody from those three organizations on our board, and they support, us and what we do as well. So they're a huge part of that. So you're right. I mean, when we look at trail access, for us, it's anything that's motorized recreation, and that can even go to somebody that's end activity might not be motorized. Maybe it's a climber, maybe it's a hiker, it's a mountain biker. But if they're using a motorized vehicle to access whatever that end activity is, we look at the work that we do as supporting them as well.
That makes sense.
There's so much trash that's been pulled out. Every post that's triple digits or more of trash that's being pulled out of these places.
The other cool program that we've got going on, I'd say two more. One is Quadratech. So Quadratech partnered with us in April of this year. We made the announcement at Easter Jeep that they are going to fund a project, and it could be a trail project, it could be a signage project, but some type of trail restoration effort in every single state. We're into that project right now. There's Rob from Quad.
Oh yeah,
he's talking it through. He's actually that's actually the project.
Chris, we need to add Quadratech and Rob specifically to our future guest list.
Okay.
Yeah. We also need to make it out to Easter Jeep Safari. Like we're overdue.
Come on.
So
come be our guest.
I think the thing that we carry from Tread Lightly, whether it's Easter Jeep Safari or it's something on the rocks, the big UTV one in
Rally on the Rocks.
That one, or the Overland Expos is like it's leave things better than you left them. Whether that's clearing a tree off a trail or eliminating trash that was left there by shithead locals. But that's good to hear that you're partnering with Quadratech. Quadratech is like one of the big stalwarts in the Jeep world.
Well, Quad's been a great partner for ours. They're really one of our longest partners. And this program has been really great. You guys would love to see what's sitting in my garage right now.
Oh boy, enlighten us.
The Quadratech JTE SEMA build is sitting in my garage right now.
Oh my god!
He at least was specific, so I can Google.
Google. It's all over.
Wait, why and how is that in your garage?
Because we're going to go do a project in California for the 50 for 50 in a couple weeks. So that's that vehicle. Greg Henderson did a great job on that build, but we're actually going to take it out, and there it is. Use it to get some positive work done on the trails.
It's so awesome.
That's so the Gladiator that everybody wanted Jeep to build, but they didn't.
Yeah. And I was to say, for the audio listener, which is the only kind of listener who's audio, it's a Gladiator, but it's only the front row of the Gladiator. So it's actually JU.
So they're calling it a JTE.
Okay.
So it was a JL that Greg, basically chopped the second row of seats off. It's replaced with the Gladiator bed, but it also has a 12-inch extension on the Gladiator bed. So it's not just a straight Gladiator bed. But it's a 4xe JL.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's on 37s. It's a really cool piece.
So retain the hybrid?
Yes.
Nice. It's the best of everything that the JL and JT platform offers, plus a little extra bed, because the JT bed's not really much of a bed.
And 37s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can fit 30. What is it, like inch and a half, 2 inches of lift for 37s? I mean, that's the world we're in. Like shit, fucking Power Wagon 37s fit without a lift. So, that's the Gladiator we all wish they had made. And the Gladiator's great, but
outdoor pictures too.
2 doors, man.
Yeah.
It's just,
dude, it's fantastic. No kids.
There you go.
Sorry, that's what I looked at this and saw.
See, you're on the opposite side of it. I look at it and I'm like, I can't wait until my kid can ride in something like that. Like I'm looking at Comanches, like MJs, and thinking I could start building this now, and then by the time she's 16, it could be roadworthy.
If you really want to dig into Comanches, I know a guy. We can talk about that later.
Do you?
Yes.
Wait, really?
He has multiple ones on his property.
Is it David Tracy?
And it's not David Tracy. He's moving, by the way. Have you not seen that? Don't tangent that. We'll get into
I was literally looking at my emails thinking to myself, why hasn't David responded to my emails for another show? And then I
saw Twitter and went,
that, yes. Well, no, not Twitter, because won't go. You couldn't pay me to go on Twitter. But
yeah, it's my favorite part to keep tagging you on tweets.
They're moving multiple old Jeeps across the country right now.
And I'm pretty sure David got sick at one point too. So
yeah. So Matt, what else is in your garage now other than the dream Gladiator?
The wife's Ram, and right now my spot is empty because I just took the Bronco today to get a tread lightly wrap put on it.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, that's a lot better than another friend of the show who may or may not have been on the show, who took his Bronco in for a second transfer case issue. Emil?
No,
I didn't say that.
I haven't had any issues with mine yet. It's been great. And I've had mine since the end of August, and I'm pushing 7,000 miles already. So
awesome.
So you've had it since the end of August 22, and you placed the order for it when?
March of 21.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay. Yeah. And what spec is your Bronco?
It's a wild track.
Okay.
Ross, I'm gonna derail real fast though.
Yep.
How is Cinder Hills, Matt?
If you've never been to Cinder Hills, the next time you're in Flagstaff, you have to go.
Well, so I was in Flagstaff in May for Expo where I saw you, and they had fires, and so we couldn't go to Cinder Hills.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's why our project at Cinder Hills took forever to complete, because we actually, after that fire, we had a second fire. But it's we did a project up there. That was when that picture was from. We were able to get the project done up there. We rebuilt 350 feet of fencing that was actually just incinerated by the fire. Really, that for the most part, it fared pretty well from the fire. It burned a lot of the underbrush and stuff, and you could even see from that picture that a lot of the branches and stuff are a little bit higher. It has created some erosion issues, but in terms of just a fun place to go, it looks like you're on the moon. I mean, it's black pebble lava rock everywhere. There's some really cool hill climbs. It's a great place to camp and overland at. So we actually have another project planned up there for the Thursday before Overland Expo this year.
Nice.
I love the visuals there. I think they're amazing.
Have there been worse derailments for a project than a fire, other than COVID? Let's pretend all that didn't exist, but is fire the worst?
That was probably really, this year was probably the worst thing, and it was frustrating because we had the two back to back, and then we got rain this summer. We got some of the storms, the summer after you'd had that. So the neighborhood right there around Cinder Hills got hammered a couple times, with flash flood stuff, which you don't wish that on anyone.
Oh, thank you.
Fun.
No.
There you go. That's a great shot.
Dude, I love it up there.
That's a YJ. Whose YJ is that?
I don't know. This is random Google search.
Oh, okay. Well, ignore my messing. Red YJ is a very special place in my heart. That's a later YJ, not the early ones. So
sweet.
So yeah, I think the last program I was going to bring up is Bronco Wild Fund. Ford Ford started the Wild Fund when the Bronco came back, to support conservation efforts. We're one of the 5 organizations that get support from that fund. And, that's been a really great relationship with Ford. And, to continue into 23. And one of the things that we just did here in Phoenix a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine came to me in August, I guess July, August, and said, "Hey, I think we need to do a Bronco event in Phoenix." He's got a 77, really nice Bronco. And, it was like, this is going to be a cool event. We had no idea what this thing was going to do. And the number of people that kept registering, that's Joey's Bronco right there.
Goddamn.
There's mine.
Is that the original color? That can't be the original color.
The green one?
I'm pretty.
Yeah.
And there's Shelby Hall's Bronco. So this is the event. We ended up with 214 Broncos on site at Sanderson Ford.
Man. We should have connected you with Mike Musto too. You could have brought a real pretty one.
We just had a great time. We had, there's a guy in Colorado that has one of the vintage strop haulers. It's crazy. It's got a cab over that actually has Mercury branding on it. But we had like 8 or 9 strop Broncos on site, and Willie Strop was there as well.
Oh, wow.
Really?
It was just a crazy awesome event. So this was year 1, and there's already discussion about year 2. So
where exactly was this?
It was at Sanderson Ford in Phoenix. Well, Glendale.
In Phoenix. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So 3 days, Russ. 3 days.
3
to drive. 3 days to drive.
1 day to fly, 1 day to be there, 1 day to fly back.
Yeah. Come on out.
Shit.
Dude, those are fantastic Broncos.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what as we're encroaching on the next 10-ish 15 minutes of our showtime, what can Tread Lightly recommend that the casual listener do other than join and follow and participate in the events and the doings? What are some like more low-key stuff that everybody can do to help?
I would say honestly, number 1 right now is stay on designated trails when you're off-roading. We have a lot of off-trail excursions and user-created routes that they're just causing issues, and ultimately they become ammunition, maybe not the best word, but for the opponents of motorized recreation.
Ammunition's not the wrong word. It's counterfire against us.
Yeah. So we did a project at the end of September up in Sedona and the Coconino, where we were just closing user created routes. There's a family up there that's been farming that area for years, and some of those user created routes are causing issues for them, and they've had some reductions in their grazing rights on the forest, and that's not fair to them. We have plenty of places to ride. Just really stay on the trail. It's pretty easy to do. I say a lot of times, like, the challenge is we have these vehicles, whether it's a Bronco or a Jeep or a Cruiser or whatever it is, or a side by side, or they're capable of going almost anywhere, but they shouldn't go almost anywhere. And that's really for I don't care whether it's the novice or rookie user or the guy that's been doing this forever. Just stay on the trail.
Ain't that the truth?
There's a shot of that day where we were working on those routes.
Yep.
Did I get close? I was hoping I got close.
You nailed it. That's the project.
Woo!
So really interesting right there. And some people might think, some people tend to have a perception of who's going to be into doing projects on public lands and who's not. So that's Hubert Rowland right there on the left of Nitro Circus fame, probably better known by most people as everybody's redneck.
Yeah, we've all seen him crash.
That guy.
Yep. Hubert brought out a bunch of guys from Nitro Circus. Hubert was doing a ride from the Canadian border to the Mexican border. We connected, and he brought a bunch of guys out, and we had a great day. Got a bunch of work done, and his crew really enjoyed it. And huge thank you to them for making that happen. And but yeah, it's fun to do positive things with positive people.
Yes.
Ain't that the truth?
Very much so.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Just glad I got the right photos there. Every now and then I'll just take a stab.
140 something episodes, man. You've got the producing down.
Sneezes over my shoulder though.
Red IQ.
She knows what she's doing. Is it the time to wrap up the show already?
It's yeah. I mean, I think we've covered it.
Well, sweet. Matt, I'd say, what do you want to plug? It feels a little silly to ask that question.
I mean, for us, it's like I said, it's the do your part piece. Everybody's got a role that they can play.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Some people are in an area where they can volunteer. Some people are, can stay on the trail. Some people can become Tread Lightly members. Everybody's got a role that they can play. We all love, off-roading and the fun that we get to have. And the thing I'll say is we're doing some changing in some of our marketing stuff. Tread Lightly for years has talked about, protecting your access and stewardship work. What we've done this year is actually talked with a lot of people, and we've got a lot of new people, like Ross, you referenced, that have come into the off-road community. Mm-hmm. And some of those things just don't resonate with them as well if they didn't grow up in it.
Right.
So we've got 2 new headlines, hashtags that you're going to start seeing from us. We've started using some of those already, particularly like the UTV audience. And we've bounced this off of some of our partners already. You're going to start seeing Protect the Fun. That's what that audience likes. They're out there to have fun, but we want to make sure that we're protecting the ability to keep having fun.
Yep.
For the more, that 4x4 audience, the overlanding crew, we're going to use Protect the Adventure. And I think those two lines really speak to the entire audience that we're trying to talk to. All of us want adventure, all of us want to keep having fun. But we all have a part to play in that. So you're going to start seeing, do your part to protect the fun, do your part to protect the adventure.
We dig it.
Love it.
Yeah. I'll always leave things better than when you got them.
Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah, no. Yeah, please, but also no. You have an obligation. Come on.
Dude, it's something that, like, we talk about a lot, about things in this country that are like, or whether you're born with it or whatever, like, this has to be taught. Picking up after yourself and or others has to be taught.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I use it.
No, you go, Matt.
I was going to say, I don't know if I used this last time, but we use it. One of the people like to say about public lands is, this is my land, I own it. So, back years ago, I think it was Amex had the membership has its privileges, tagline.
Yes. Yep.
Well, membership has its privileges. Yeah. Ownership has its responsibility. So we have a responsibility to make sure we're doing our part, to make sure public lands are open for us to continue to recreate on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just tell everybody who off-roads or hikes or, camps or anything, just leave it better. That's it. Leave it better. So I'm
you see
trying
that
to hammer that
from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to hammer that into your kids. Start young.
Absolutely.
my daughter is impressionable, but I don't think she totally understands. She understands smile.
Start now.
So,
Start now.
Yeah. Smiles.
Every time, turn around and be like, clean up after yourself, young lady.
Yes. Don't shit on the floor.
Put a diaper on her. What are you doing?
There's shit. Shit comes out of the diapers. You know that very well.
I know. I think I shared that picture with you already.
I'm putting this on the record in our podcast. I'm writing a children's book called "Why Am I Wet?"
So, real quick anecdote. We were maybe at an amusement park in Florida. I had the third kid strapped to me, and we had just finished with something, and all of a sudden I felt a warm sensation on my belly. He peed all over me, and we were like,
I've seen Big Daddy.
Yeah, we were like 2 hours into an 8-hour day kind of thing, and of course it's Florida, so you're not ever gonna dry. Like, it's so cute. Anyway, that's what we'll wrap
just
the show
everything
there.
else just got moist.
Yeah. No, just right there, belly. Anyway, I'll wrap up the show. You can rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. Because we have kids. Anyone else with kids will understand. All those without will be like, y'all are insane. And we are. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. Matt is Tread Lightly is at Tread Lightly Team on Instagram. That's where I follow him. And then Matt is Matt_from_Tread Lightly. Here's the hint, just type in Matt Caldwell and it comes up.
Thanks, Instagram.
Yeah, you can follow Hooniverse, the Hooniverse on Twitter, the real Hooniverse on Instagram. Ross is not like the one from Friends. I'm at Overlanding Dad, and that's it. We've done a show.
Yeah,
welcome to 2023.
Our third year.
Oh my gosh,
fuck shit up.